Hey guys, welcome back to Bumpin' the Mic. I am super excited to tell you today we have a viewer submitted story for you as read by Gregory.
That's right. Now, back in 2017, one of our listeners was stationed at F.E. Warren Air Force Base in Cheyenne, Wyoming. He served with the 90th Security Forces Squadron as a military working dog handler. And if you know anything about that job, you know that those teams don't scare easily. Now, a little history first. F.E. Warren Air Force Base is the oldest continuously active installation in the United States. It started its life way back in 1867 as Fort D.A. Russell, long before the Air Force even existed. And like a lot of places with that kind of mileage, it's built on layers of history. And some of those layers still like to make themselves known, apparently. Now, Building 37, where the Security Forces unit works today, used to be the base hospital. The armory in the basement where the airmen kept their weapons was once the morgue. People who worked there have reported cold spots, shadows caught on surveillance cameras, and the occasional knock on a locked door with nobody standing on the other side. But it isn't just the people who react to that building. The dogs hate it too. We're talking about the big, confident working dogs, trained to bite, trained to chase, to go through anything. And yet when they hit that doorway, tails drop, bodies tense, and they refuse to climb to the third floor. Nobody knows why. There's no strange noises. There's no strange smells. It's just a place that these dogs want nothing to do with. Now, the handler who sent this story said he never personally experienced anything at Building 37, which honestly disappointed him. But that changed one cold night in a November. He and his partner, a Belgian Malinois named Nemo, were assigned to do a building check at a National Guard Joint Forces Readiness Center just outside one of the gates of the base. It was about 3 a.m. The parking lot held a few vehicles, some government, some personal, and a couple of office lights glowed on the second floor. He figured somebody had come in early to hit the gym or to get some work done. He clipped Nemo's leash to his belt and went inside. The lights were motion activated, and the foyer lit up the moment he stepped through the door. He cleared the first floor left wing, nothing, moved to the right, still quiet. Then from above came the sound of something heavy being dragged across the floor. Not a creak, not pipes, a deliberate shoving sound like someone pushing a heavy laden box. He and Nemo started up the main stairwell. Halfway up, he heard footsteps, fast, running away down the hall. Nemo's head whipped towards the sound. Security forces, the handler called out. No answer. He tried again. Nothing. Now he was thinking intruder. He radioed the Base Defense Operations Center, called for backup and his flight chief, and then gave the standard warning. Any individual in this building, this is security forces with a military working dog. Come out now or you will get bit. Silence. So he released Nemo. The second floor was a maze of cubicles surrounded by glass-walled offices. Every door was locked. There was nowhere to hide except under a desk, which Nemo handled easily, crawling and weaving like he'd done it 100 times. They cleared the entire area. Nothing. Except Nemo found candy on a desk, a half-open bag of Twizzlers, and stole one before his handler could stop him. Typical Nemo. Satisfied there was nobody inside, the handler radioed for the other patrols to stand down. He reclipped Nemo's leash and started towards the exit. That's when the leash went tight. He looked down. Nemo was frozen, body low, teeth bared, every muscle rigid. This dog who loved everyone, who begged for belly rubs, was snarling. At first, the handler thought he'd somehow startled him, but then he realized Nemo wasn't looking at him. The dog's focus was past him, down the hallway, behind them. Eyes locked, not blinking. The handler pulled out Nemo's favorite toy, a Kong, and waved it in front of him. No reaction. He gave a small tug on the leash. Nemo growled, even bit at it as if to say, "Don't move me." So he stopped and slowly stepped around to Nemo's side. The dog's gaze never followed him. He stayed locked on whatever was standing in that hallway. The handler started backing him out, one slow step at a time, weaving around the cubicles, never turning his back. When they reached the stairwell and began descending, it was like flipping a switch. Nemo relaxed, his tail wagged, panting, playful, like nothing had ever happened. Outside, the flight chief had just arrived. He asked what was going on. Our viewer said, "I'll explain it at B-Doc, but I'm never going back in that building again." And he never did. Whatever was up there, Nemo saw it first. Maybe it was an intruder who slipped out unseen. Maybe it was something older, a leftover echo from the base's storied past. Or maybe, like the third floor in Building 37, there are just some places animals know better than we do. And hey, some things at Warren are legendary for a reason. What do you guys think? It's a pretty interesting story, and I can't thank our viewer enough for sharing it with us. Thanks for your
Absolutely.
service, and call your mom. I know she'd like to hear from you. But yeah, it's it's kind of a testament to not just dogs, but animals' heightened senses, and particularly surrounding supernatural forces. It seems like they know something's wrong before we do anyway. But when
Oh
it
yeah.
comes to things of the supernatural or like, paranormal, any of that stuff, like they are way more in tune to it than we are. And I don't know where that comes from.
No, it's like I wonder if it's just like a heightened sense thing. Like, is it just a different frequency? I've always wondered that because it's like a dog whistle. We can't hear it, not that frequency, but they certainly can. So I'm like, maybe there's differences in whatever it is, like frequencies that they can pick up that we just don't. And maybe it has to be really obvious for us to like see it or hear it, but to them, they pick it all up.
Yeah, I mean, they're certainly more in tune just with nature in general. Like we as human beings have done just about everything we damn well can to separate ourselves from nature and entomb ourselves in the creature comforts of modern society, right? Like there's exceptions to that rule, certainly, but as a whole, by and large, like we're a pretty freaking bitch ass species.
Yeah, humans actively try to ignore their senses now. Like you'll get that gut feeling that something's wrong, and you're like, I'm not gonna listen to that. I'm not gonna. Or they don't even want to pay attention anymore. They'll put headphones on and walk with their head down. Like it's like stuff we yeah we don't want to. I think use those senses anymore. But animals, they still got it.
Yeah, I mean, they have to. Like most animals on the planet are still fighting for survival day in and day out, like they have been since their inception, right? Um, and I guess it makes me think about like, all the stories we've told about like, Native Americans and rural tribes of every continent on the planet and how in ancient times, like there's a lot of recorded or at least shared stories of them encountering things like the Yeti, the Sasquatch, the Wendigo, things that we've talked about. And I wonder if that's because they're just more in tune with that shit than we ever could hope to be, because that was them way back then when they were part of nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean being in tune with nature. Kind of to add on to what you were saying, we actively try to push nature away now. We tear it down. We build up buildings. Like we don't necessarily want to be a part of that anymore. So that could be how we lost some of that as well.
Yeah. In fact, it's like I don't want to say vacation, but it's like a boutique experience that we seek out to be unique. Like when we go camping or hiking, like we're doing that for fun when historically we've had to do it just to survive, right? Like now that's just a fun excursion and escape for us to go back into survival mode. Like that's how good we actually have it, right?
Oh yeah, but it's funny when that's why whenever whenever I go camping or anything like that, uh, not that it has anything to do with like ghostly or spirits or anything like that, but even with other stuff that's out there, my dog will pick it up long before I do. So I'm like, I'm gonna trust him. Like if he's telling me something's out there in the woods, I'm gonna assume something's out there. If he's telling me something's in my closet, I'm gonna assume something's in my closet. Like I'm let's get out of here.
Yeah, there's been many a time like sitting around the campfire at night, right? And you're just shooting the shit, just having a good old time or whatever, and then your dog will just start that low growl, like they
Yeah,
know something's
perks
out
up.
there, but they don't know what it is. And then you look over and he's just like laser focused on something in the distance in the dark that you can't see. Like they know. They know.
Yeah, it's horrifying. Like even out there, it makes you feel like it makes your mind start to race. Because like obviously with Nemo there, he was seeing something. He's not just doing that for no reason. Like he's got something, and he's just got
Yeah,
no
you
way to communicate to you what he's seeing.
right. Like his body posture and direct focused attention is his way of communicating, right? You could take the most dumb, untrained dog on the planet and put him in a situation like that, and he would act exactly the same, right? He would freeze in place, give his undivided attention to whatever was spooking him or caused him alarm. And then for a highly trained working dog to do the same thing, like that sense for you is even greater. Like, you know, that there's no guessing. There is something there
Mhm.
that you missed or just can't perceive. And I would do the same thing our viewer did. Back out. Hey, Chief, I'm not going to talk to you here. Let's get far away from here. And then I'll tell you what's going on. Oh, and by the way, I ain't never going back over there.
Are you sure you would have backed out?
Okay, well, okay. He probably had a little more stoicism than I did because I don't know if I could have held onto that dog's leash, especially if it was going as slow as it made him sound like he was going. I'd be like, Nemo,
Meet me
catch me
up.
outside. How about that? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That's one of those situations where you don't quite know how to react because you're trying to rationalize it too in your head. Like, come on, like there's nothing there. Come on, Nemo. So it's
Yeah, come on. We just checked, Nemo. Remember, you hate the Twizzler. Like, everything's fine.
it's clear.
Yeah.
That is
It's
done.
insane. And I know Effie Warren is it's old, right? Like I said, it's the oldest continuously active post in the continental US history. Like there's bases that are older, but there's no bases that have been continuously active for as long as Effie Warren has. So there is a rich history there.
Oh yeah.
Like it was there during the old west, like literally miles down the road from where like Jesse James and all of that, Wild West cowboy stuff happened. So I would bet a lot of money that there's a lot more stories on that base than just this one, for sure.
Oh yeah. I I'm so glad he sent it though, because it's always awesome getting like a first hand account. Like you're not just reading it on the internet; somebody's actually telling you a story. So it's I'm really glad we got to read that. And for you guys out there watching in the comments, do you guys ever have pets that I don't know, a cat that watches something walk by that you can't see? You ever have a dog that stands up at night, looks down your hallway and starts growling? Like tell us if you guys have ever been freaked out by one of your pets and if you think there's something that might have actually been there.
Yeah. Let us know. Obviously, we like hearing from you guys and we want to share your stories. Like we don't have to blast your name out like our viewer here, right? We can tell it anonymously, but we want to hear from you and we want to share your stories on our platform because it is really our platform, our channel. It's not just Clyde and me, it's all of us. We want to hear from you guys and we'll discuss everything we can. What do you guys think of our viewer's story here tonight, too? Let us know in the comments. Have you been stationed at F.E. Warren yourself? Do you have a similar experience? Did you know Nemo? Like, was he a good doggy? Let us know. But yeah, we appreciate your guys' attention. And thanks again to the viewer that sent us. We really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. That was great, and I can't wait to hear from the rest of you guys.
Absolutely. And we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in.
See ya.